You've just entered the Bear Report, your digital zone for all things Chicago Bears. Bear down. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Our sources this week, they really pull back the curtain on a victory that wasn't just important, it was, well, monumental.
Yeah, we're talking about that 31-14 win. Definitely a game one side desperately needed.
Right, like a collective exhale for a struggling franchise. And at the same time, it was just a complete public and professional embarrassment for the other team.
Total opposites playing out on the field.
So our mission today is to figure out, the mechanics behind this surprising Week 3 outcome. It really is a classic tale of two teams hitting extremes.
You've got the young quarterback suddenly taking this giant professional leap forward.
Fueled by, honestly, some of the most aggressive and creative play calling we've seen all season.
And then contrasted with the shocking total systemic failure of a defense that was supposed to be, one of the best in the league.
Okay, let's unpack this. We absolutely have to start with the man who kind of enabled everything else we're talking about, the quarterback.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, because across the board, the analysis we're seeing suggests this was his most professional game to date. Maybe not his flashiest, but his most effective.
And what's fascinating here, I think, is that the growth we saw wasn't really centered on the usual stuff, like the improvisational scrambles or that freakish arm strength he's known for.
Right.
This felt more like an intellectual win. The sources are highlighting that the real shift was in the operation, rhythm, and timing of the offense.
Okay.
The description that really stood out to me was calm feet, aggressive mind. Like he was processing quicker, seeing the field better.
Which then allows the play calls to expand.
Yeah.
Right. Exponentially almost.
Exactly. And when you look at the raw numbers, that professional maturity just jumps right off the page.
He matched a career high, 4 touchdown passes, posted a career high passer rating of 142.6.
Which is just, wow.
And to give you some context on how good that is for his organization, that's the 4th greatest single-game passing rating in the franchise's entire history. That's rarefied air.
Seriously impressive. But, if you want the single most crucial detail that really indicates true development, it isn't necessarily the touchdowns or the yardage, as great as they were.
What is it then?
It's that he was not sacked. Not one single time. 0 sacks.
0. That's a first in his NFL career.
Right. And you have to remember, he'd struggled mightily in the first 2 weeks with pressure, holding the ball too long sometimes, or maybe escaping too early.
Yeah, the happy feet were definitely there.
So when you can consistently stand firm, deliver throws, rely on the protection, it means the whole unit, the whole team is operating at a different tempo. It's synchronized.
That's such an important point. The protection held up absolutely, but they also didn't ask him to just dink and dunk, right?
Yeah.
They weren't conservative.
At all.
And here's where it gets really interesting, because that pocket security allowed the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, to be, ruthlessly aggressive. His play calling was just full of gadgets, motion, aggressive downfield shots. And specifically because he seemed to know he could exploit the Cowboys' predictable tendency.
That tendency to rush 4 and play that soft zone coverage behind it.
Exactly. It was like an intellectual dismantling. You said it.
Yeah.
Johnson came into this game knowing the opponent's defensive identity was, frankly, predictable.
Rush 4, rely on your star power to win individual matchups and play, quote-unquote, discipline zone.
Right. But Johnson attacked that supposed discipline immediately, betting they couldn't handle the unexpected, the wrinkles.
And the ultimate payoff, the play everyone is still talking about, has to be that early flu flicker.
Oh, yeah. The 65-yard touchdown throw to the rookie, Luther Burden. What a moment.
And the execution of that play was, almost impossible when you break it down.
Tell us about it.
Okay, so the quarterback, Williams, had to catch the lateral pitch, which was reportedly thrown, let's just say, very high, almost over his head. The guy who threw it used stronger language. Catches it one-handed while basically flat-footed, and then just immediately launches the ball 62.1 air yards.
62.1 air yards. That is the longest air yard completion recorded in the NFL this entire season.
Just incredible arm talent, but also incredible nerve to even attempt it. It was a highlight reel moment for sure, but it also seemed to completely break the opposing defense's will early on.
And why did it break them?
Yeah.
because the source material details that 10 out of 11 Cowboys defenders bit completely on the run fake, just totally sold out.
Yeah.
It was a perfect display of design meeting talent, exploiting a really glaring systematic lack of discipline. You only run a play that risky when you're pretty damn sure the defense is going to abandon their assignments like that.
And if that flea flicker was the flashy, sort of shocking wow moment,
Yeah.
the defining strategic maneuver of the game, I think, was that drive that sources described as feeling truly disrespectful.
You're talking about the marathon drive. The 19-play, 76-yard touchdown drive in the third quarter.
Yeah, the one that just methodically consumed 9 minutes and 54 seconds of clock time.
Almost 10 minutes. Yeah. On one drive.
Think about that. That is the most plays in an NFL drive this entire season, and the longest touchdown drive for that team since, at least 2001.
Wow. And the key feature.
The drive included 11 consecutive running plays at one point. Just bam, bam, bam.
11 straight runs?
It wasn't just about scoring points. It felt like an outright attempt to pummel the defense. It signaled to everyone watching, basically, that the offense had zero respect for the heart, the discipline, or the gumption of the guys trying to stop them.
But wait, okay, if they knew the defense was going to play soft zone and they knew they lacked the discipline, why didn't they try this kind of heavy aggression and gadgetry earlier in the season? Was this just a one-time exploit, or is this the start of a new offensive philosophy?
That's a really good question, and the sources suggest it was probably a mix. I mean, first, it required Williams demonstrating he could actually execute the timing needed for these plays.
Right, the operation piece we talked about.
Exactly. But maybe more importantly, Johnson saw a defense that was already reeling from previous struggles.
Giving up tons of points.
Yeah, 92 points in 3 weeks. They weren't playing free, they were playing scared. So Johnson chose this exact moment to be the bully, that 19-play drive. It was psychological warfare, capitalizing on that fear.
And to really punctuate that aggression, the drive ended with that gutsy 4th-and-goal touchdown pass to DJ Moore.
Showing Johnson was willing to gamble the 3 points for the 7, even when conventional wisdom might say, kick the field goal, play it safe. Total confidence.
So if we connect this amazing offensive success to the bigger picture, it just shines an even brighter light on the catastrophe happening on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, that highly touted Cowboys defense was absolutely embarrassingly bad. That's the quote floating around.
The whole narrative surrounding that unit, the supposed bedrock of their team, is just completely shifted. From elite to, frankly, exposed.
And the numbers, I mean, they really are shameful. They explain why the Bears offense could be so audacious.
Dallas has allowed 92 points in their first 3 games.
92.
And maybe more damningly for a team that plays so much zone. 13 completions of 25 yards or more allowed.
That number is just staggering. It shows they are fundamentally vulnerable to the deep ball, to big chunk plays. That's a complete breakdown in the core structure of a defense built specifically to prevent that.
It really is. It's the hallmark of a defense that either doesn't trust its zone assignments fundamentally, or maybe just doesn't have the personnel to execute them properly.
And the core issues were just utterly exposed in this game. We mentioned the 0 sacks against a rookie QB who was previously sack-prone.
Yep.
Then you have massive, massive breakdowns in coverage, like that blown coverage on Rome Odunze's early 35-yard TD.
Their star cornerback, Trayvon Diggs, missed the jam and literally fell down.
Yeah, just bad technique, bad execution. The critique was harsh, and honestly, deservedly so. Analysts called this the dumb state and the soft state defense. They're designed to rush for and play zone, right? But if that pass rush fails, which it did spectacularly here, the zone breaks immediately. It seems like guys are always looking for the big play instead of just being sound.
So the aggression from the Bears offense only worked because the Cowboys defense was so undisciplined.
Essentially, yes. The defensive coordinator really needs to look hard in the mirror because the scheme just got picked apart.
We also need to add one important piece of context here for the Cowboys offense, which put even more stress on that defense.
Right, the CeeDee Lamb injury.
Yeah, their star wide receiver rolled his ankle in the first quarter, was immediately limited, looked like maybe week-to-week kind of thing.
Absolutely. And his absence clearly meant the Cowboys' offense sputtered, struggled. It forced them to become way more one-dimensional.
Which puts immense pressure back on an already reeling defense, as you said.
Yep. No rest for the weary. They just had to keep taking the punishment we just described.
Okay, so what does this all mean for the winning side, for the Bears? While the offense clearly stole the show and provided the excitement, the defense also had some key high-impact contributions in sealing the victory, even if their overall performance wasn't flawless.
That's exactly right. The defense forced 4 total takeaways. That's huge.
Turnovers.
Including 2 crucial interceptions by Tremaine Edmonds and 1 by Kevin Byrd. And importantly, they pitched a shutout in the entire second half.
0 points allowed after halftime. Those are game-winning statistics, regardless of the yardage given up earlier.
Definitely. And you could argue the momentum shift started right away on defense.
Yeah.
That incredible athletic play by Tyreek Stevenson forcing that strip fumble on the Cowboys' very first possession. That sequence completely altered the game's trajectory, didn't it? It set an aggressive tone the whole team hadn't really displayed yet this season.
It did. That said, we need to balance the high fives from the takeaways with the systemic weaknesses that are still there.
For sure. Despite the second half shutout, they are still struggling in a major area, stopping the run.
They allowed 7.6 yards per carry to the opposing running back, Javonte Williams. That's not good.
No, it's not. The defense remains a pretty significant liability, especially with that lack of a consistent pass rush we talked about. Veteran quarterbacks could exploit that.
It really is the two sides of the same coin, isn't it? If the offense keeps playing with rhythm, minimizes penalties, the defense can get rest, maybe capitalize on mistakes like they did here.
Right.
But if that lack of pass rush and the inability to stop the run shows up against a savvy veteran QB who can methodically pick apart zone coverage, those 4 takeaways might not be enough to save them next time.
That's the critical balance they need to find. However, stepping back to the overall team operation for a sec, there was one other major positive that signals maybe a fundamental improvement in coaching and execution.
What about that?
The offense committed 0 pre-snap penalties. 0.
That's huge. That had been plaguing them in previous weeks, killing drives.
Exactly. It shows greatly improved command, pace, operation speed for the whole unit. Getting the play in, getting lined up correctly, snapping the ball on time. That kind of self-discipline is absolutely crucial if you want to start stacking victories.
So this really raises the big question for the winning team now. Consistency. Can they keep this up? They now have a short, crucial window of opportunity with some quote-unquote winnable games ahead against Las Vegas and Washington.
Right, but one professional game from the quarterback, no matter how spectacular it was, isn't enough. The team has to stack these kinds of performances. They need to prove this newfound command wasn't just a one-off reaction to playing a completely broken defense.
The focus has to shift immediately from celebration to sustained, continuous growth. They've raised the expectations now.
And they have to live up to them every single week. It's the NFL.
In the final thought, let's bring it back to the team that suffered this public humiliation, the Cowboys. Despite this truly embarrassing loss, the owner has publicly insisted that the offense, led by Dak Prescott, and their improved running game is still playoff ready.
Interesting claim after that performance, but okay.
But the conflict there is just palpable, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
How long can any team realistically sustain a playoff push when their defense is being widely regarded by analysts as, awful in zone coverage and maybe even unfixable in its current state?
That internal tension between a hopeful, maybe high-achieving offense and a completely exposed, soft defense, that feels like the next great challenge for the defeated team.
Yeah, they have to figure out really quickly if these defensive woes are just a temporary lapse in effort or communication, or if it's a deeper systemic failure in scheme or personnel, because that confidence in the offense will turn into frustration real fast if the defense keeps playing like this.
Absolutely. That tension between one side of the ball being playoff caliber, supposedly, and the other side being a complete liability, that's just an unsustainable tightrope walk in this league.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into a game that truly felt like a powerful psychological shift for both of these organizations. We encourage you, as you watch the rest of the season unfold, to keep exploring that concept. Consistency versus the one-off success.
Thanks for tuning in to the Cy-Bear Report. We're proud to be your voice in Bears Nation. If you liked what you heard, hit follow and spread the word. More news, more takes, more grit. Coming your way soon. Don't forget to follow the show wherever you get your podcasts. And as always, bear down.